Something is about to shift for you this week, Sagittarius. And if you have been feeling trapped, boxed in, or like the walls have been closing in around your life, what I am about to share with you is going to explain exactly why that pressure has been building and, more importantly, why it is finally about to crack open. This is not one of those weeks where you sit around waiting for something to maybe happen. No, this is the kind of week where the universe reaches down and hands you the key you have been searching for. The one that unlocks a door you were starting to believe would never open again. Your freedom is coming back. Not in some distant, far-off future. Not in some vague, symbolic way. I mean real, tangible, felt in your bones freedom. The kind where you wake up and your chest does not feel tight anymore. The kind where you look at your schedule, your relationships, your decisions, and you realize that you are the one holding the pen again. But here is the thing most people will not tell you. Freedom does not just arrive because the stars align. Freedom arrives because you are finally ready to receive it. And that readiness, that is what we are going to talk about today. Because this week holds 10 specific energies that are moving through your sign, and each one of them carries a message you need to hear. So stay with me through every single one of them. Do not skip ahead. Do not tune out halfway through. What comes at the end of this reading ties everything together in a way that could genuinely change the direction of your next season of life. Tip 1. The first energy moving through your sign this week is one of release. And I do not mean the gentle, peaceful kind of letting go that people talk about in greeting cards. I mean the raw, messy, sometimes painful kind of release where something that has been stuck inside you for months, maybe even years, finally starts to move. You have been carrying something, Sagittarius. You know exactly what I am talking about. It might be a grudge. It might be a memory. It might be an old version of yourself that you keep dragging into every new room you walk into. Whatever it is, this week the universe is saying enough. You have held on to this long enough. It is time to set it down. Now, here is what makes this energy so powerful. It is not just about letting go of the thing itself. It is about letting go of the identity you built around carrying it. Think about that for a moment. Some of us hold on to our pain not because we want to suffer, but because we have become so used to defining ourselves by our struggles that we genuinely do not know who we are without them. The person who was betrayed. The person who was overlooked. The person who never got their fair chance. These stories become like armor. They protect you, sure, but they also keep you small. They keep you locked inside a version of your life that expired a long time ago. This week, the stars are pulling that armor off. And yes, it is going to feel vulnerable. It is going to feel exposed. There might be a moment, maybe on a quiet evening or during a conversation you did not expect, where you suddenly feel lighter than you have felt in a very long time. And that lightness might scare you, because when you have been carrying something heavy for so long, the absence of that weight can feel disorienting. You might even reach for it again out of habit. Do not do that. Let it stay gone. What is replacing that heaviness is something far more valuable. It is space. Emotional space. Mental space. Spiritual space. And in that space, new things can finally grow. New ideas. New relationships. New ways of seeing yourself in your future. But none of that can happen if you keep filling the space with the same old baggage. So the first message of this week is clear. Put it down. Whatever you have been gripping so tightly that your knuckles have gone white. Open your hands. Let it fall. You do not need it anymore. You never really did. And I want you to pay attention to how your body responds when you do this. Pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to the tension in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your stomach. Because your body has been keeping score this entire time. It knows what you have been holding. And when you finally release it, your body will thank you in ways your mind cannot even comprehend yet. This is not just emotional house cleaning, Sagittarius. This is the foundation for everything else that is about to unfold this week. Without this release, the other 9 energies cannot land properly. So take this one seriously. Make it real. Write it down if you need to. Say it out loud. Tell someone you trust. Do whatever you need to do to make this release tangible, because the universe responds to action, not just intention. Tip 2. The second energy this week is about reclaiming your voice. And I need you to understand something important before we go any further. Your voice is not just the words that come out of your mouth. Your voice is every choice you make. Every boundary you set. Every time you say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. Your voice is the full expression of who you are. And for too long now, you have been whispering when you were built to speak with authority. Something happened to you, Sagittarius. Maybe it was gradual, maybe it was sudden, but at some point you started editing yourself. You started shrinking your opinions to fit other people's comfort zones. You started swallowing your truth because the last time you spoke it, someone made you feel like you were too much, too intense, too honest, too direct. And so you learned to soften your edges. You learned to smile when you wanted to scream. You learned to say it is fine when nothing was fine at all. This week that pattern breaks. And it does not break because someone gives you permission to be loud. It breaks because you finally give yourself permission to be heard. There is a massive difference between those two things, and I want you to sit with that distinction. You do not need anyone's approval to use your voice. You do not need a perfect moment or a safe audience or a guarantee that everyone will agree with you. You just need the courage to open your mouth and let the truth come out, even if your voice shakes while you do it. Now, this does not mean you should go around picking fights or being reckless with your words. That is not what this energy is about. This is about alignment. It is about making sure that what you say on the outside matches what you feel on the inside. Because every time those two things are out of sync, you lose a little piece of yourself. And over time, those little pieces add up until you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back at you. There is a conversation coming this week. It might be with a family member. It might be with a coworker. It might be with yourself standing in front of that mirror I just mentioned. And in that conversation, you are going to have a choice. You can say the safe thing, the thing that keeps the peace, that avoids conflict, that maintains the status quo. Or you can say the real thing, the thing that has been sitting in your chest like a stone for weeks or months, the thing that might make someone uncomfortable but will finally set you free. I am not going to tell you which one to choose. You already know. You have known for a long time. The question is not what to say. The question is whether you are ready to deal with what happens after you say it. And this week, Sagittarius, you are. You are more ready than you think. The universe has been preparing you for this moment, strengthening your resolve, clarifying your thoughts, building your emotional stamina. All those hard days you have been through, they were not punishments, they were training. And this is the week that training pays off. I also want to point out something that most people overlook. When you reclaim your voice, you do not just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you, because your honesty gives other people permission to be honest too. Your courage becomes contagious, and the ripple effect of one person finally speaking their truth, that can shift entire families, entire friendships, entire communities. So do not underestimate what you are about to do. It is bigger than you think. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. The third energy coming through for you this week is one that Sagittarius often struggles with, and that is the energy of stillness. I know. You are a fire sign. You are built to move, to explore, to chase horizons and push boundaries. Sitting still feels like a punishment to you. Feels like wasted time. It feels like the opposite of everything you are wired for. But this week, stillness is not your enemy. Stillness is your superpower. Let me explain why. You have been running, Sagittarius. Not always physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have been in constant motion. Constantly planning the next thing. Constantly analyzing the last thing. Constantly looking over your shoulder or straining to see what is around the next corner. And all of that motion, all of that restless energy has kept you from hearing something very important. Something that the universe has been trying to tell you for a while now. But you have been too busy, too distracted, too caught up in the noise to hear it. This week, the noise dies down. And in the silence that follows, a truth is going to rise to the surface. It might come to you in a dream. It might come to you in a random moment of quiet. While you are sipping your morning drink, or watching the sun go down, or lying in bed just before sleep takes you. And when it comes, it is going to feel like a light switching on in a room you forgot existed. Suddenly, something that has been confusing you for months is going to make perfect sense. A situation you could not figure out is going to become crystal clear. A decision you have been agonizing over is going to feel obvious. But here is the key. You have to create the conditions for that clarity to arrive. You cannot force insight. You cannot chase an epiphany. You have to let it come to you. And the only way it can come to you is if you get quiet enough to hear it. So this week, I want you to carve out at least one period of genuine stillness every single day. I am not talking about meditation, although that works too. I am talking about turning off the noise, putting the phone down, stepping away from the television, going somewhere quiet and just being, not doing, not planning, not worrying, just existing in the present moment without an agenda. This is going to feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind is going to race. It is going to throw 1,000 thoughts at you, trying to pull you back into the chaos. Let those thoughts come. Do not fight them, but do not follow them either. Just watch them pass like clouds moving across the sky. And underneath all of that mental chatter, in the deep stillness beneath the surface noise, that is where the truth lives. That is where your answers are waiting. I have seen this pattern play out with Sagittarius energy over and over again. The archer who finally stops running long enough to aim properly. That is the one who hits the target. You cannot hit a target if you are sprinting past it at full speed. You have to plant your feet. You have to steady your hands. You have to breathe. And then, from that place of calm, centered presence, you release the arrow. And it flies true. There is also something else that happens when you embrace stillness this week. You start to notice things you have been overlooking. Small blessings, quiet kindnesses, tiny miracles that have been happening all around you but that you were too busy to appreciate. This week is going to remind you that life is not just about the big dramatic moments. It is also about the gentle, everyday beauty that exists in the spaces between those moments. And once you start seeing that beauty, everything changes. Your gratitude deepens. Your perspective shifts. Your heart softens. And from that softer, more open place, you become magnetic to the very things you have been chasing so desperately. Tip 4. The fourth energy this week is about money. And I need you to listen carefully because this is not the typical abundance is coming message that gets thrown around carelessly. This is specific. This is practical. And it applies directly to a financial situation you have been dealing with that has caused you more stress than you have let anyone see. You have been worried about money, Sagittarius. Maybe not in an obvious, dramatic way. Maybe you have been keeping it together on the outside, smiling and saying everything is fine when people ask. But underneath that calm exterior, there has been a knot in your stomach, a tightness every time you check your account, a quiet dread that follows you around like a shadow, whispering that you are not doing enough, earning enough, saving enough, being enough. This week, that knot starts to loosen. And it loosens not because a pile of cash magically appears in your life, although there is an unexpected financial opening coming that I will get to in a moment. It loosens because your relationship with money itself is about to shift. You are going to start seeing money differently, not as something you have to chase or hoard or worry about constantly, but as energy, as a flow, as something that moves through your life in direct proportion to the value you put out into the world. Here is what is happening on a practical level. There is an opportunity connected to something you already know how to do. A skill, a talent, a piece of knowledge that you have been undervaluing for years. Someone is going to bring this to your attention this week, either directly or indirectly. They might mention a need they have that you could fill. They might compliment you on something you take for granted. They might share information about an opening or a possibility that makes your ears perk up. When this happens, do not dismiss it. Do not do that thing you always do where you talk yourself out of opportunities because you do not feel qualified enough or ready enough or worthy enough. This is the universe placing a door in front of you. Your job is to walk through it. But here is the deeper message, and this is the part most people miss. Your financial situation is never just about money. It is about energy. It is about what you believe you deserve. It is about the stories you tell yourself about wealth and worthiness and what is possible for someone like you. And many of those stories were planted in your mind a long time ago by people who had their own limiting beliefs about money. Their scarcity became your scarcity. Their fear became your fear. And you have been operating from that inherited programming ever since, without even realizing it. This week, you get to rewrite that programming. You get to decide for yourself what you believe about money, about abundance, about your own capacity to create financial stability and even prosperity. And the first step in rewriting any program is becoming aware of the old one. So pay attention this week to the thoughts that come up when you think about money. pay attention to the automatic reactions, the knee-jerk assumptions, the familiar anxieties. Those are the old programs running. And once you see them clearly, you can begin to replace them with something truer, something that actually serves the life you are trying to build. The financial opening I mentioned is real. It is coming, but it is not going to look the way you expect it to look. It might come through a conversation. It might come through a problem that needs solving. It might come through a door that someone else opens for you without even knowing they are doing it. Stay alert. Stay open. And most importantly, stay out of your own way. Tip 5. The fifth energy this week is deeply personal, and it touches on a relationship that has been weighing on your heart. I am not going to pretend to know exactly which relationship this is because it could be romantic, it could be familial, it could be a friendship that has slowly shifted into something complicated and heavy. But you know which one I am talking about. The one that keeps you up at night. The one that occupies more mental space than you would ever admit out loud. The one where you keep replaying conversations in your head, trying to figure out where it went wrong, or what you could have done differently. This week brings a turning point in that relationship. Not necessarily a resolution, because some things take longer than a week to fully resolve, but a turning point, a moment of clarity where you finally see the situation for what it truly is, stripped of all the emotions and projections and wishful thinking that have been clouding your judgment. And what you see might surprise you, because the truth about this relationship is not what you have been telling yourself. You have been assuming a lot, Sagittarius. You have been filling in the blanks with your own fears and insecurities, creating a narrative that may or may not match reality. You have been so afraid of a certain outcome that you have been unconsciously pushing toward it, almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. This week, that pattern gets interrupted. You are going to receive new information. A text, a look, a conversation, a gesture. Something that does not fit the story you have been telling yourself. And in that moment of surprise, a crack opens up in your certainty. And through that crack, a different possibility enters. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This turning point does not guarantee that the relationship goes the way you want it to go. What it guarantees is that you stop operating from a place of fear and start operating from a place of truth. And sometimes truth is messy. Sometimes truth means accepting that a relationship has run its course, and that holding on is causing more harm than letting go. Other times, truth means recognizing that there is still something worth fighting for, but that the way you have been fighting has not been working, and a new approach is needed. Whatever the truth reveals for you this week, embrace it, even if it hurts, even if it is not what you wanted to hear. Because truth, even painful truth, is always more valuable than a comfortable lie. A comfortable lie keeps you stuck. Truth, no matter how difficult, gives you solid ground to stand on. And from solid ground, you can actually build something real. There is also something happening beneath the surface of this relationship energy that I need to address. This is not just about the other person. This is about you. This is about the patterns you bring into your relationships, the ways you protect yourself, the walls you build, the tests you put people through without even realizing you are doing it. This week is going to hold up a mirror, and in that mirror, you are going to see not just how this other person has contributed to the difficulty, but how you have contributed to it too. That is not a comfortable realization, but it is a necessary one, because you cannot change what you refuse to see. And the moment you take ownership of your part in the dynamic, that is the moment real healing becomes possible. The universe is not punishing you with this clarity. The universe is loving you enough to show you the truth, so that you can make an informed choice about what happens next. And whatever you choose, Sagittarius, whether you choose to stay, to go, to fight, to forgive, to set a boundary, to open your heart, do it from a place of honest self-awareness. That is the only foundation strong enough to hold the weight of a real, lasting connection. Tip 6. The sixth energy this week is about your health, and before you scroll forward thinking this does not apply to you, stop. Because this message is specifically for the Sagittarius, who has been ignoring their body signals. The one who has been pushing through fatigue, brushing off that persistent ache, telling themselves they will deal with it later, they will rest when things calm down, they will take care of themselves after they take care of everyone and everything else first. Your body has been sending you messages, Sagittarius. Small ones at first. A twinge here, a restless night there, a heaviness in your limbs that coffee cannot fix. And because you are stubborn and strong and incredibly good at pushing through discomfort, you have been ignoring those messages. You have been treating your body like a machine that just needs to keep performing, regardless of how you fuel it, how much you rest it, or how much stress you pile onto it. This week, your body raises its voice, not to punish you, not to break you down, but to get your attention, because your body is your oldest and most loyal ally. It has been carrying you through every single experience of your life, every joy and every heartbreak, every triumph and every failure, and it deserves more than to be ignored and overworked and taken for granted. Now, I am not a medical professional, and I am not going to pretend to diagnose or treat anything. But what I can tell you is that the energy this week is pointing strongly toward a connection between your physical symptoms and your emotional state. That knot in your stomach is not just about the food you ate. That tension in your back is not just about how you slept. That persistent tiredness is not just about needing more sleep. Your body is holding emotions that your mind has refused to process. Stress, grief, anger, fear. All of these create physical responses, and when you suppress the emotion, you do not make it go away. You just relocate it. From your mind to your muscles, from your heart to your gut, from your spirit to your spine. This week is asking you to reconnect with your body, to stop treating it as something separate from your emotional and spiritual life, and start recognizing it as an integral part of who you are. Listen to what it is telling you. If it says rest, rest. If it says move, move. If it says eat something nourishing, do that. If it says cry, let yourself cry. Your body knows what it needs. Your only job is to stop overriding its wisdom with your stubbornness. There is also a practical element to this energy that I want to address. Something needs to change in your daily routine. Something small but significant. Maybe it is the time you go to bed. Maybe it is what you consume first thing in the morning. Maybe it is the amount of time you spend sitting versus moving. Maybe it is the habit you know is not serving you but that you keep returning to out of comfort or boredom or emotional need. This week, the stars are giving you an extra dose of willpower and discipline around that change. Use it. Do not waste this window, because changing a habit is always easier when the energy supports it. And this week the energy is very much on your side. I also want to mention something about the connection between freedom and health that is particularly relevant for your sign. Sagittarius craves freedom above almost everything else. But real freedom requires a body that can support it. You cannot explore, travel, create, build, love, and live fully if your physical vessel is breaking down because you neglected it. Taking care of your health is not a limitation on your freedom. It is the prerequisite for it. Remember that this week. Every time you are tempted to skip the rest, skip the nourishment, skip the care your body is asking for, remember that you are investing in your future freedom with every healthy choice you make. Tip 7. The seventh energy this week is one of the most exciting ones, and it involves a creative awakening that has been slowly building inside you for longer than you probably realize. There is something you have wanted to create, Sagittarius. A project, an idea, a vision that has been living in the back of your mind like a seed waiting for the right season to sprout. Maybe it is something artistic, writing, painting, music, design. Maybe it is something entrepreneurial, a business concept, a product idea, a service you know the world needs. Maybe it is something deeply personal, a way of living, a philosophy, a new structure for your daily existence that reflects who you are actually becoming rather than who you used to be. Whatever this creative impulse is, this week it moves from the back of your mind to the front. It stops being a vague daydream and starts demanding to be made real. And the timing of this is not accidental. Remember what we talked about earlier. The release, the stillness, the reclaiming of your voice. All of those energies were preparing the ground for this creative emergence. You could not bring something new into the world while you were still clutching the old. You could not hear your creative voice while you were drowning in noise. You could not express your truth while you were still editing yourself to fit other people's expectations. But now you are clear. Now you are open. Now you have space. And into that space, inspiration is rushing like water into a valley. Ideas are going to come to you this week with a frequency and intensity that might feel almost overwhelming. Write them down. All of them. Even the ones that seem silly or impractical or too ambitious. Especially those ones. Because the ideas that scare you the most are usually the ones that matter the most. Here is what I need you to understand about this creative energy. It is not asking you to produce a finished product this week. It is not asking you to have it all figured out. It is asking you to begin, to take the first step, to put pen to paper, brush to canvas, fingers to keyboard, voice to microphone. Whatever your medium is, start. Imperfectly, messily, without knowing where it is going or how it will turn out. Just start. Because here is the secret that every creative person eventually learns. The muse does not visit people who wait for her. The muse visits people who sit down and start working. Inspiration does not precede action. Inspiration follows action. You do not wait until you feel inspired to create. You create and the inspiration catches up. This week, the energy is primed for exactly that kind of momentum, but you have to initiate it. You have to make the first move. There is also a collaborative element to this creative energy that I want to highlight. Someone in your circle, someone you may not have considered as a creative partner, has a piece of the puzzle that you are missing. They have a skill, a perspective, a resource, or a connection that could take your idea from concept to reality in a way you could not achieve alone. Be open to unexpected alliances this week. Be willing to share your vision with someone you trust, even if it feels vulnerable to let someone else see the thing you have been quietly nurturing in your heart. Great things are rarely built in isolation, and the right collaboration can multiply your creative power in ways that will astonish you. I also want to speak directly to the Sagittarius who has been telling themselves that they are not creative. That label, that limiting belief, is one of the most damaging stories you carry. Every human being is creative. Every single one. Creativity is not just about art. It is about problem solving. It is about seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. It is about imagining a future that does not yet exist and then building it, piece by piece, day by day. You do this constantly without even recognizing it as creativity. This week, start recognizing it. Start owning it. You are a creator, Sagittarius. It is time you acted like one. Tip 8. The 8th energy this week deals with something that many Sagittarius natives find deeply uncomfortable, and that is the energy of commitment. I know that word makes some of you flinch. Commitment can feel like the opposite of freedom to the archer. It can feel like chains, like walls, like a cage that slowly closes around the wild, untamed spirit that defines your sign. But this week is going to teach you something revolutionary about commitment that most Sagittarius never learn. Or at least never learn until they have spent years running from it. True commitment is not the enemy of freedom. True commitment is the highest expression of freedom. Let me say that again because it is important. True commitment is the highest expression of freedom. When you commit to something, a relationship, a goal, a practice, a path, you are not giving up your freedom. You are using your freedom. You are making a sovereign choice about where to direct your energy, your time, your heart. That is not captivity. That is power. The problem is not commitment itself. The problem is that in the past you may have committed to the wrong things. Things that were not aligned with who you really are. Things that you agreed to out of obligation or fear or people-pleasing rather than genuine desire. And when a commitment does not match your authentic self, of course it feels like a prison. Of course you want to run. But that does not mean commitment is the problem. It means alignment is the problem. This week, something is asking for your commitment. Something real. Something that actually aligns with who you are becoming. And the universe is watching to see what you do. Because this is one of those pivotal moments, Sagittarius. One of those crossroads where the path you choose determines the landscape of the next several years of your life. And the path that leads to the greatest growth, the deepest fulfillment, the most authentic expression of your purpose. That path requires you to commit. Now, what does this commitment look like specifically? Could be many things. It could be committing to a relationship that has been floating in ambiguity, where neither person has been willing to say this is what I want and I am all in. It could be committing to a career move that you have been dipping your toes into without ever fully jumping. It could be committing to your own healing, your own growth, your own daily practice of becoming the person you know you are capable of being. Whatever it is, you will recognize it by the way it makes you feel. There will be fear, yes, but underneath the fear, there will be a deep, quiet knowing, a sense that this is right, a feeling in your gut that says this is what you came here to do. Do not let the fear override the knowing. Fear is loud, but it is not wise. It screams at you from the surface while the truth whispers from the depths. This week, you are being asked to listen to the whisper, to trust the quiet knowing over the loud panic, to step forward into a commitment that scares you and discover that on the other side of that fear is a freedom you could never have found by running. There is one more dimension to this commitment energy that I want to explore. It is about committing to yourself, not to another person, not to an institution, not to an external obligation, but to you, to your own well-being, to your own dreams, to your own standards and values and non-negotiables. Because the most powerful commitment you will ever make is the one you make to yourself. And for too long, Sagittarius, you have been breaking that commitment. You have been putting yourself last. You have been betraying your own needs in service of everyone else's comfort. This week that stops. You commit to you, and everything else flows from there. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. The 9th energy this week is about forgiveness, and I need you to stay with me here because I know this is a loaded topic for you. Forgiveness does not mean what most people think it means. It does not mean saying what happened was okay. It does not mean letting someone off the hook. It does not mean pretending the wound does not exist or forcing yourself to feel warm and fuzzy towards someone who hurt you deeply. Forgiveness, in its truest form, is about releasing the grip that the past has on your present. It is about deciding that you will no longer allow what happened then to dictate what happens now. There is someone you have not forgiven, Sagittarius, and I can feel the resistance rising in you even as you hear these words. Your jaw tightens. Your defenses go up. A voice inside you says they do not deserve my forgiveness. And you know what? Maybe they do not. Maybe what they did was genuinely terrible. Maybe the pain they caused was immeasurable. Maybe there is no excuse, no justification, no explanation that could ever make it right. I am not here to argue with any of that. I am not here to defend them or minimize your pain or tell you that everything happens for a reason. What I am here to tell you is that your unforgiveness is not hurting them. It is hurting you. Every single day that you carry this resentment, this bitterness, this burning anger, it is eating away at your peace. It is taking up space in your heart that could be filled with joy. It is stealing energy that could be directed toward building the life you actually want. They moved on a long time ago, Sagittarius. They are sleeping fine at night. Meanwhile, you are lying awake replaying scenes in your mind, having arguments with someone who is not even in the room, punishing yourself for something someone else did. This week, the energy of forgiveness is not gentle. It is fierce. It does not tiptoe up to you and politely ask if you might consider letting go. It grabs you by the shoulders and says, look at what this is costing you. Look at the relationships you have sabotaged because you were afraid of being hurt again. Look at the opportunities you have missed because your heart was too close to receive them. Look at the years, the actual years of your life, that you have spent in the shadow of something that should have been processed and released a long time ago. Forgiveness this week is an act of radical self-love. It is you choosing yourself over the grudge. It is you deciding that your future is more important than their past. It is you taking back the power you have been giving away every single day by staying stuck in that old pain. And here is something that might surprise you. Forgiveness often happens in layers, not all at once. You do not have to forgive completely and perfectly this week. You just have to begin. You just have to crack the door open even a tiny bit and let a sliver of light in. Maybe it starts with simply being willing to forgive. Not actually doing it yet, but just being willing. Just saying to the universe, to yourself, to whatever higher power you believe in, I am willing to release this. I am tired of carrying it. I am ready to try. That willingness is enough. That willingness is the seed. And once you plant it, the universe will send the rain. The healing will begin to unfold in ways you cannot predict or control. People will show up with the right words at the right time. Memories will surface not to torment you, but to be finally processed and released. Dreams will come that help you understand the situation from angles you never considered before. The healing has its own intelligence, Sagittarius. Your only job is to stop blocking it. And I want you to consider one final thing about forgiveness this week. There is a very good chance that the person you most need to forgive is yourself. For the choices you made, for the red flags you ignored, for the boundaries you did not set, for the time you wasted, the love you gave to the wrong person, the chances you did not take, the version of yourself you abandoned in order to survive. Forgive her. Forgive him. Forgive them. Forgive you. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now you know more. So do better. But do it from a place of compassion, not punishment. That is the gift this week is offering you. Tip 10. The 10th and final energy this week is the one that ties everything together, and it is the energy that gives this reading its title. This is the energy of freedom. Your freedom is coming back, Sagittarius. Not the reckless running away from everything kind of freedom that you sometimes chase when life gets too heavy. Not the freedom of avoidance or escapism or burning bridges just to feel the heat on your skin. I am talking about real freedom, soul-deep freedom, the kind that does not depend on your circumstances, your location, your relationship status, or the number in your bank account. This is the freedom of knowing who you are and being unwilling to pretend otherwise. This is the freedom of having done the inner work, the releasing, the forgiving, the committing, the truth-telling, and arriving at a place where you are no longer controlled by your fears, your wounds, your old patterns, or other people's expectations. This is the freedom of a person who has finally come home to themselves. And I want you to understand something about the timing of this. This freedom is not arriving randomly. It is arriving because you earned it. Every difficult day you pushed through, every tear you shed in private, every moment of confusion and doubt and darkness that you survived without giving up, all of it was leading here. All of it was building toward this week, this moment, this breakthrough. You did not waste those hard days, Sagittarius. You invested them. And this week, the return on that investment arrives. Now, what does this freedom look like practically? It looks different for every Sagittarius because it depends on what was holding you captive. For some of you, it looks like finally leaving a situation that has been draining your life force. A job, a living arrangement, a dynamic that you stayed in out of obligation or fear. For others, it looks like a mental shift, a moment where the chains you thought were external turn out to be internal, and you realize you can simply choose differently. For others still, it looks like a surge of energy and clarity that propels you into action you have been postponing for months. Whatever form it takes for you, you will know it when it arrives. It will feel like breathing deeply after being underwater for far too long. But here is the responsibility that comes with freedom, and this is the part that separates the Sagittarius who thrives from the one who self-destructs. Freedom without direction is just chaos. Freedom without purpose is just wandering. And freedom without discipline is just another form of captivity, because you become a slave to your impulses instead of a master of your choices. So as this freedom returns to you this week, pair it with intention. Decide what you are going to do with it, not in a rigid, controlling way, but in a clear, purposeful way. Aim the arrow before you release it. Choose a direction even if you are not sure it is the right one, because a moving target is always easier to adjust than a stationary one. Start moving, and the path will clarify itself as you go. This week is not just another 7 days on the calendar, Sagittarius. This is a turning point, a chapter break, a line drawn in the sand of your life that separates everything that came before from everything that comes after. The old you, the one who was trapped, the one who was silenced, the one who was afraid. That version of you is being released with gratitude and love. And the new you, the one who speaks their truth, who commits to what matters, who forgives fiercely and loves fearlessly, who creates boldly and rests unapologetically. That version of you is stepping forward into the light. And let me tell you something about that new version of you. The world needs her. The world needs him. The world needs the Sagittarius who is fully alive, fully free, fully expressed. Because when you are operating at your best, you do not just change your own life. You light up every room you walk into. You inspire people without trying. You remind everyone around you that it is possible to live with passion and purpose and joy, even in a world that sometimes tries to beat those things out of you. So take this week seriously. Honor every energy we discussed. Do the releasing. Practice the stillness. Speak your truth. Take care of your body. Commit to what matters. Forgive what needs forgiving. And step into the freedom that is rightfully yours. You have been waiting for this, Sagittarius. You have been working toward this, and now it is here. Do not let anyone dim your light this week. Do not let old habits pull you back into patterns you have outgrown. Do not let fear convince you that you are not ready, because you are. You are more ready than you have ever been. And the stars, the planets, the entire cosmic architecture of this moment, it is all aligned in your favor. This is your week. This is your turning point. This is the moment your freedom comes back. And this time you are wise enough to know what to do with it. Stay with this energy. Return to this reading whenever you feel yourself wavering. Let these words be an anchor when the storms of doubt blow in. And remember above all else that you are not alone in this. The universe is watching you, cheering for you, conspiring on your behalf in ways you cannot see but that are absolutely real. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.